All right, guys, I got a juicy one for you. Here we go. Wife cheated on me, now I'm thriving while she's spiraling. Today marks what would have been 10-year wedding anniversary for me, 32 male, and my ex, 31 female. We met in middle school, began dating in high school, and got married shortly after college. We have 3 kids together. My ex, let's call her Anna, spent the early years of the marriage as a stay-at-home mom. As the years went on, she became increasingly bored with that and eventually restarted her college education. With 1 semester to go, she decided the major she was pursuing no longer interested her, and she dropped out of college. Instead, she began working as a waitress in a local restaurant. Her best friend, Monica, 38, female, also worked there. She enjoyed the work and seemed to be doing a good job with it. She was making friends for the first time in years. Her depression was getting better, and it seemed to be a positive change in her life. I work full-time, and with the well-paying serving shifts taking place at night and on weekends, I took on additional responsibilities at home so she could work those shifts. I adjusted my work schedule to have more flexibility for taking the kids to and from school or to be home with them on random days off. I took them to all their weekly sport practices and after-school activities. I took on the majority of the cleaning, shopping, and laundry. I don't even like where that's going, man. You're basically giving your wife a whole lot of free time to do whatever she wants, and you boggle down. Anna had some tough years with depression, including 1 known suicide attempt, so I was happy to take on more familial responsibilities if it allowed her to pursue something that finally provided happiness. After a few months working at the restaurant, Anna became close friends with a few female coworkers. Around the same time, she also started telling me more about her work stories with Dan. Dan was a 24-year-old male line cook at the restaurant. At first, they were normal work stories, funny things that happened at work, how they reacted to rude customers, the latest drama from a workplace that employs a lot of young drama-filled people. But as time went on, she started to tell me more about how Dan was hitting on her and telling her she was pretty. I find when a female starts talking about another guy, there's usually some type of attraction there, especially when they bring them up more than once, no matter how friendly they may try to make it seem. We had conversations where I shared that I felt their relationship was crossing a line, and I asked that she shut down any non-professional interactions he had with her. As the months went on, I stopped hearing about Dan, and I was assured that he no longer was hitting on her. Oh, she just wasn't telling you anymore. As the months went on, our marriage declined. We no longer made time to date each other. We stopped enjoying spending time with one another. I didn't outright know she was cheating on me, but I knew our relationship wasn't the same as it used to be. That's a telltale sign. When the sex stops and the woman starts getting distant, there's usually something creepy going on. Now, not in every situation, not every case, but I want to say majority of these cases, you need to start paying a lot more attention when your sexual life starts to decline. Then in March of this year, she didn't come home one night after work. It had become a regular occurrence that she would go out for drinks with coworkers after their shifts ended. For quite a while, I was happy for her because it seemed she had made some genuine friends to hang out with. That night, she didn't come home from work. I had fallen asleep on the couch while trying to wait up for her. In the early hours of the morning, I called her phone 3 times, wondering where she could be and if she was okay. On the 3rd call, she briefly answered, informed me she drank too much and stayed at Monica's house, said she'd be home in the morning, and then ended the call. Yo, brother, you're giving this lady way too much leeway. Nobody's wife should be hanging out multiple times a week, getting drunk, and coming in whenever she feels like it. If she wants to do that, then she needs to be a single woman doing her own thing. That's how I feel about it. Monica had been friends with Anna for several years. We went on double dates with Monica and her ex-husband James prior to their divorce. Monica has a daughter the same age as my daughter, and they're best friends. The problem with Anna's story was that Monica and I were at our daughter's dance practice that night that Anna didn't come home. I knew that Monica was at home with her daughter after dance, not out at a bar drinking, so it didn't make sense for Anna to be at her house. I resolved that I'd talk to Anna about it tomorrow and try to get some sleep before the kids would wake up in a few short hours. As I was drifting off, I remembered that we shared our phone locations through a parental control app we use for our daughter's phone. Frantically opening the app, I could see that her location was in an apartment building several miles away. It was the same apartment building that she had once told me was Dan's building when we were driving past it. How the hell would she know where Dan's house is? Come on, dude, you gotta pay attention to stuff like that. At 5:30 in the morning, I heard the garage door open. She came home stumbling through the door a few minutes later, heavily under the influence and looking like she hadn't got any sleep. Nah, she was getting a booty clap, man. I asked her where she had been and why she didn't come home that night. She reiterated that she was at Monica's after having too many drinks and that she couldn't have safely driven herself home that night. When I said that I saw Monica at dance and knew she had her daughter with her last night, Anna changed her story and said she was actually at a different coworker friend's house, Natalie. I replied saying that Natalie lives in a single family house, but her location showed her in an apartment building. After a pause that lasted what I'm quite confident was several years, I asked, "Are you having an affair with Dan?" To which she simply nodded yes. In the coming weeks, we spent time trying to decide if we could repair things or if our marriage was over. We went to couples therapy and I went to therapy individually too. I knew that I didn't love her anymore, but I wanted to have a chance to see if we can make things work so I didn't lose time with my kids if we were to separate. I know, as men and even as women, we love our children, but sometimes you got to put your well-being above trying to make the family work, because if you're not in a good headspace, you're not going to be that good to the kids any damn way. So it might be best to just move on. Anna agreed to give us another chance and told me that she ended things with Dan. She broke things off with him at a coffee shop, not knowing what his reaction would be and wanting to do it in a public space. I spent that night consoling my wife as she went through a breakup with her boyfriend. Bro, you're consoling her for doing you wrong, and you're going to counseling for something that she did. And like I always say in all of these videos, why doesn't the woman want to go to counseling before she cheats on the man? Or vice versa, if the man is cheating on the woman. The following weeks were a roller coaster. Anna and I went on a few dates as we tried to repair things. Each one was awkward, like a blind first date where you know very little about the person and strain for conversation. There were very few highs and a lot of lows. A week later, I learned that Anna was still talking to Dan. I talked to Monica about it, who had learned about the affair at this point, and we decided Monica and her friends from the restaurant would sit down with Anna to have an intervention of sorts. I didn't ask details about what they discussed with Anna, trusting they would do what they thought was best to advise Anna. So after an afternoon spent with the family and on our way home, I pulled our vehicle over in front of Monica's home and told Anna to head inside. Yo, my bro, you putting a lot of effort into this and you said you didn't love her anymore. She already played you twice. Bro, the first one, okay, you gave her a chance. Second one, there shouldn't be no chances. You should be just walking right now. Anna quickly saw what was unfolding. She saw her other friend's car in the driveway, putting the pieces together that they were there to talk to her. Anna refused at first to go inside, but eventually relented. Anna came home from the intervention undecided on how to proceed. She wanted to think about whether she wanted to be with Dan or I, and we went to sleep. Bro, she shouldn't have to think about it. You should make the choice for her. She for the streets, my man. Then after agreeing to continue therapy and trying to work on our relationship while also agreeing to stop seeing Dan again, I got a text from an unknown number a week later saying that Anna was still seeing Dan. As I pressed for details, it became clear the mystery texter worked with him, and I knew in that moment that my marriage was over. I had had enough with the lying, cheating, and deception. Mystery texter eventually revealed their identity. As I talked to them, Monica and other co-workers of Anna, I learned quite a few things about the affair, that it had been happening for more than 6 months, that they were talking about getting married and having kids. I learned that after Anna knew I was checking her location, she would park her car with her phone in it at a non-suspicious location. Her work, friends, homes, grocery stores, etc., to make it appear that she was doing something legitimate. All the while, she was continuing to cheat on me with Dan. Late the evening of finding out from the mystery texter that Anna was still cheating, I woke Anna from her sleep and said we were getting divorced. I said I wanted her out of the house ASAP and that we'd figure out the rest later on. In the weeks between the intervention with her friends and us formally separating, Monica and I had been texting quite a bit. All of our texts were about getting advice from her on how to talk to Anna about things, or Monica sharing with me confirmation on days that Anna was working so that I wouldn't assume Anna was lying and hiding her location by parking at work. The entire conversation stayed within the bounds of me texting my wife's best friend for advice on how to repair my marriage. I'm kind of confused because in one sentence he's saying he wants a divorce, he doesn't have love for her, things are over, but in the next sentence he's still checking up on her. At this point, you should be detached, my man, and be trying to take care of yourself, not worrying about a woman that's clearly not in love with you anymore. Following the decision to separate from Anna, I joined a few dating apps. Initially, it was to show Anna that I was serious and moving on, despite my head not being in any place to actually date someone new. One night, while the kids were with Anna, while I was spending the evening mindlessly swiping right and left while also texting Monica after she checked in on me to see how I was doing, I decided to ask Monica to get some drinks and talk about how awful Anna had treated both of us. Throughout the affair, Anna had spent a lot of time lying to Monica and lying to me about being with Monica when she actually wasn't, and Monica was hurt by that. The evening with Monica went great. We spent 3 hours talking and laughing, sharing things about each of our exes and how they had treated both of us. Her divorce was further along than mine, so we chatted about that too. I had known Monica for several years at this point, previously as my wife's best friend, so I was enjoying getting to know a different side of her. Several weeks later, Anna finally moved out. She rented a new place, and we could finally start moving on with our lives apart from one another. Since then, life has been a tale of two stories. I've been in a relationship with Monica for 6 months, finally finding someone that is a good person, makes me happy, and enjoys being with me. I lost weight. I work out several times per week, and I completed my first triathlon. I've had a lot of good moments with the kids, doing fun activities and trying new things. Well, it seems he trauma bonded with Monica and they had some things in common, so I'm glad he found someone that, seems to be on the same page with him. And it's always a good thing to work out. Definitely improves your confidence. Anna got pregnant immediately after moving out. She quit her job ahead of being fired for sexual harassment as she was Dan's supervisor. She bought a new car for Dan and then lost the new job she had just gotten. News got out that Dan uses cocaine and sells various drugs after he got fired from the restaurant for being high at work. She's lost most of her friends as they found out about the cheating and lying. Why do they always leave the good guy for a guy that has absolutely nothing going on? I'm happy to have moved on and no longer feel stuck being with someone that's a terrible person. I feel no sympathy for her as she continues to make poor decisions, but I'm pained by her still being someone in my kids' lives. Overall, I'm significantly happier than I used to be. Well, I'm glad this story turned out like it did. He definitely took too long to break things off with this woman. I mean, she was totally disrespecting him. And guys, you gotta nip the disrespect in the bud. I know you love your wife, you love your family, but sometimes you just gotta know when to call it quits and walk away. It'll save you a lot of heartache and pain, and you get to keep your dignity. So guys, what do you think about this story? Let me know in the comment section. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.